Welcome to Grow Load, and this is good news. I like to see items like this, which is Intel going through and saying, "Hey, you know what? We're going to give you some free performance." We're seeing this on the table, and if you bought into the Ultra 200 series, this is good for you as well. They're calling it 200S Boost. Um, Tech companies and naming, right? Sometimes you wonder, but it's a overclocking profile that is on Z890 motherboards. I was also looking at DeBauer did a video on performance, so you can go take a look at DeBauer's video. He does a great job going through that. I actually wish I had enough processors I could actually test this on, and enough hardware, which I don't. Cost some money to do, but maybe one day to be able to test these things that come out. But one thing really cool is, right, the default, clock speeds of these processors, where the fabric speed, die-to-die speed, and RAM speed were 2.6 gigahertz, 2.1 gigahertz, and then 600 or 6400 megatransfers per second. And when you enable this profile, it's going to require a BIOS update. It's going to increase these speeds to up to 3.2 gigahertz on both the fabric speed and the die-to-die speed, and then there will be up to 800 or 80,000 or 8,000 megatransfers for the memory speed. And DeBauer asked Intel, why the huge jump, and Intel said that their memory controller was better than what they first thought it would be, which is always a benefit. Right now, is there going to be some processors that probably don't hit this? Yeah, probably. And right now, and I think it's going to only be the Z890 motherboard. So you'll have to get to the latest BIOS update. There's been motherboard support out there where they've had this. You're going to have to then enable that Intel 200S boost and then reboot. Intel does recommend you stress test this. And they said Cinebench has a stress test and Intel XTU to monitor the voltages and temperatures. So those are a couple options there. I'd run something else a little bit more like OCCT, something like that as well to Prime 95 to hit another stress test in there with Cinebench. I know it takes a little while, but you'd rather have something stable than to have a crash in the middle of something and, hopefully your machine's already stable and Windows isn't crashing for some random reason, because that's a whole nother scenario where you'll be searching, is it hardware? Is it software? So as long as you have a stable system now, you do this and you stress test it, you should be good. But you always got to worry if you're running Windows. Sometimes it's I keep getting people texting me like, "Is this supposed to be happening? What's wrong with my computer?" It's just Windows, being Windows. But I like to see what Intel's doing here, which is continuing to support their products, even though they're not, you know, the top of the line or anything else. But for those people that went out and bought the products, they are going through and giving them something more for the purchase that they did. And these motherboard manufacturers going through and releasing the BIOS and staying up on top of it is also good. I wish some of these motherboard makers would stay on top of some older stuff when there isn't a bug pertaining to a security flaw or a dying issue. Sometimes there needs to be a little bit of improvement. I'd like to see those things improve, but we take a win where we get a win and encourage these companies where they're doing good things, and hopefully they will start progressing into other areas where we would like to see it too, because I think it's good, to have somebody support the product through the lifeline of the product, and that to me means when people are using the product, right? When you stop using it, and I can see, you have roll-off points, but they should really have that. So Intel has this 200S boost. If you have one of these processors on a Z890 motherboard, definitely take a look. Definitely, go and try it out if this is something you want some extra speed on. I mean, if you're buying the K processors, right, this is not going to work on a 9K. So if you're buying the K processors, and I bought my kids, they built that PC way back when now, but that has a 12th gen in it, K, and I like to tinker with it. And it's just something also as I'm teaching my kids, different stuff. Um, like robotics and getting into computers and stuff. It's going to be, I like to see them be able to try different things and learn this stuff because I find it fun, and they may not, they may, and want them to continue to have that aspect of learning. So I mean, if you bought the K processors, I kind of think of it as you want the most performance you can out of it, so you're going to tinkle a little bit and see. And if there's an automatic setting like this, it's a little bit of tinkering that you can then hopefully boost and get that output and get more out of it. The big thing is with all of this though, is Intel is also doing something that I think all manufacturers should do, especially those that have these K processors, and encourage you to get the most performance out of your processor, out of the hardware that you purchase, which is they're going to have a full covered 3-year warranty on these profiles. So that is something I do like seeing. These are company profiles. These are things that Intel says are good. And same with Intel's PBO and stuff. AMD should be doing the same thing all the way through with these PBO profiles. And I think this is another area where the competition will be good, is if Intel keeps doing stuff like this in their next gen. When they release it, is keep putting these, hey, you use these profiles that extract more performance out of your processor, you still get the same warranty as everybody else because you decided to go spend that extra money on that K processor, on that, you know, supposedly higher performance processor that we have on the market, and not buy just the non-K one, which they sell for a little bit less. With that, let me know your thoughts on this whole 200S boost and what your thoughts are on it. If you have the Intel Core 200 processor, and you're using this, leave the comments of what you've experienced in the comments below. DeBauer, I'm going to let you go watch his video, and I'll try to remember to link it in the description because he did a good job there, and you can go see what performance he had in that video below. And if I ever get enough platforms to be able to test, I'll be able to test it too and release stuff out to you guys as it comes. Might not be, this generation, but I'm getting there, hopefully soon. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking the time to help support Grow Everyone and help this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell icon, as it really does help out the channel. Until next time, God bless.